Superbird one start?
It's out of gas.
It's out of gas. Is it flooded? Pushing it. Oh, I'm going to push it on the top. This is...
Ladies and gentlemen, this beautiful Plymouth Hill is directly from the Tyler Hoover collection here.
Welcome to Hoovy's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube. And yes, after a year of ownership, it is time to sell my Hemi Superbird. But not only that, I'm selling 4 other cars here at Barrett-Jackson, Houston. No reserve, but this one obviously is the belle of the ball for me. It's been a long year of sorting out all of the issues as much as I could on this Superbird. And now that it's all done, well, typical in my fashion, I get rid of it and buy another terrible project that just ruins my life. But this one I did by sight unseen on the internet, and it showed up with a lot of issues. Suspension that was all out of whack, it overheated immediately, a lot of the wiring wasn't done right or not even hooked up, some of the gauges. So going through all of that was quite an expense. And well, the reason I'm selling it primarily after sorting it all out is because it doesn't have a back seat. Right now I have 3 sort of muscly cars from the 60s. The 66 Mustang Shelby, that's a race car, no back seat. The 66 Corvette, which has no back seat. And then this, well, because it has the roll bar in it, because it was a race car at one point, wrecked in period, it doesn't have a back seat. So I don't have a single muscle car to haul my kids around in. So hopefully selling this will enable me to get something else Mopar to haul around the kids in, one muscle car or, well, something else. There are a lot of amazing cars here. Some of them are very expensive that sell after this that may take all my money. Will be gone immediately the first time I ever buy a car at Barrett-Jackson. So today we're actually going to look at the cars that I am selling, and we're going to look at some of the cars that I may be buying, and then we'll see as they cross the auction block. But first, let's teleport me back to Kansas actually a few months ago. One of the cars I was selling, the GMC Cyclone, I had a little accident with a Maserati. Yeah, you probably remember that accident, unfortunately, but it needed a lot of other little touch-up things, so I sent it down to Van Gogh, and they did a beautiful job sorting it out. But let's see the before. All right, back at Van Gogh with Stuart, and I feel like I am going to challenge you a little bit here.
Is this what I think it is?
It is, yes.
Oh,
it is
okay.
the GMC Cyclone, which you're about far enough away for it to look pretty darn good. Now start taking a step closer,
Okay.
and then you'll start
seeing some stuff.
I just don't know how deep to go, because I'm going to sell this thing at the Barrett-Jackson collector car auction in Houston,
Okay.
and it's obviously been repainted before, back when it wasn't worth very much, and yeah, I mean, these things will bring huge money if they're nice, but you're not a restoration shop, so I don't know.
Right.
Do we repaint it? Do we just do the lower cladding here, which has had a lot of bumps and bruises and not done very well? And then, of course, I did a little thing that you saw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah, that was a
okay.
that was a good hit.
Not as bad as I thought. It sounded worse in the video.
It sounded a lot worse for sure,
Yeah.
but it's kind of in a bad spot as far as fixing it. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It might be easier just to get a new one.
Get a tailgate and get the graphics.
Yeah, we can find those. This piece wasn't hit.
Right.
I'm actually more concerned about this than that.
Yeah. Well, I think I completely missed it, but at minimum, I think the lower cladding we could probably completely redo, and then
and then this
buff up the rest for it to be all it can be.
Yeah, a little wet sand buff, touch up. Maybe start there. It's gonna look a lot better.
Well, one thing I know you can't do is these wheels, because that needs like a machine refinish. This is a metal, you know, it has to go on a mill, so I'll have to do that. But there is something in the back that I'm hoping you can do, and these are the Superbird 15-inch rally wheels. They used to be able to make them, you used to be able to buy them. They're back ordered, never being made until the end of time, so I had to find these used ones. These are the 2 worst ones. This one, I mean, it's steel, so it's got some...
we can clean this up.
Okay.
Oh boy, if you can't find them anymore, I think you lucked out. Oh, this will be easy.
Okay.
Oh, this is I'm kind of excited about this.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we can make this look really good. Oh yeah.
It'll clean up in there, so have fun.
Yeah, I think we'll be in good shape, Tyler.
So we'll go look at the after on the Cyclone here in a little bit. You probably noticed that I dropped off some appropriate wheels for the Superbird. I thought getting the stock rally wheels would make it look a little more broad-based appeal, but I had them all refinished beautifully at Van Gogh and then taken over to Johnny the Car Ninjas with the car to have them mounted. and there was no hope of them fitting, unfortunately, because all this is so custom. The offset is all different with the front especially. So spacers, even if I did spacers this thick, it still would have looked completely awful. So I decided to run what she brung with the gold wheels. We had it all detailed up, and I thought I'd have a lot of time to get the cars ready, but then I had a special surprise. Coming back from the Barrett-Jackson Road Rally, Craig Jackson and his crew came in on the private jet and wanted to film a preview in the hangar with all the cars that I was selling. So it was a huge honor to have Craig come out to Kansas, film with my cars, have lunch, and then he headed back home after a long rally, I think 2,200 miles. But then the cars were picked up by Shaughnessy Transport. They did a great job handling everything, and now all the cars are here. So they're selling across 3 days. Now, I've worked Barrett-Jackson live TV coverage for a few years now. Live TV is a different animal, where like YouTube I can screw up and then, you know, break and start over and you have no idea other than a jump cut. With live TV, if I fumble something, then, well, everybody sees it, unfortunately. So I have that to deal with, and then the nervousness of selling cars. So the Superbird, it's cleaned up, it's beautiful, it's ready, but it's not selling until Saturday. You'll see it at the end of this video. Thursday, I have 1 car selling, but I have 3 selling on Friday, including the Cyclone, so let's go check it out. So here we are with the Cyclone. Now, you haven't seen videos on this really because it was a Car Issue Season 3 car that'll come out later in the year, and Van Gogh, well, they really knocked it out of the park with this thing. All of the lower cladding repainted, new stickers applied, and it's just a dramatic transformation. The upper part of the car, they just touched it up and buffed it to an incredible shine. They even made the wheels look a whole lot better. I didn't have time to get them refinished, but they're absolutely presentable as is. But if you look at this thing, it's hard to believe it is the same truck. And one surprise that he did, even in the back here, he put on a spray-in bed liner, just a thin layer of it though, to hide all the scratches that you saw before when I pulled out the wheels. And the tailgate, well, that is a total replacement tailgate. It was LKQ, a beautiful rust-free one, so no dent, Bondo, any of that kind of stuff. Done right. Thank goodness all I did was hit the tailgate. So this truck looks absolutely fantastic. It cost about $2 grand to go do that though, so we'll see. I think it was worth doing. I think it added a lot more than $2,000 in value with it. But money-wise, $21,000 is what I paid for this now, another $2,000 in repairs. Next to it is an 84 K5 Blazer, another Car Issues car. This one, low miles reported. I was told this was a 1 owner. It probably is. 60,000 original miles. If you look at the interior, absolutely gorgeous and very original. The Wizard has sorted it out mechanically. Cosmetics-wise, it's a driver. It's had a paint job. It's had a few rust repairs done decently well. It's definitely a driver, but a very original, honest vehicle. So we'll see what this one brings. This one, well, I feel like I paid a little too much for it, a little over $20,000. So hopefully I get that back, but really the experience of owning this car and the show and all that stuff made it worth it no matter what it brings. And then over here, well, you're familiar with this one. This is a personal car of mine, 1988 Porsche 928 S4, and this is the Cassie red one, 5-speed manual, 40,000 miles. Now, I brought this one because last year here in Houston, they had the world record for a Porsche 928, the risky business car that sold for a lot of money, almost $2 million. So obviously, you know, my butt's not nearly as famous as Tom Cruise's, but still looks like the car. And actually, it's a later one, the S4, 315 horsepower and low mileage, so a little bit more desirable in the spec, but obviously not a movie car. You see the burgundy, somewhat custom interior, 5-speed manual, Porsche classic stereo, just a gorgeous car. And hopefully Houston remembers. I'd take, well, 10% of that 1.8 million is the last one, but it won't do that. But it's still a very nice example that I just wasn't driving very much, so I thought, well, let's get rid of it. So there's one more car down here, the Thursday car. Let's check it out. And here it is, a gorgeous 1990 Mazda Miata. This is another Season 3 Car Issues car, and I bought this from a friend of a friend. They had it for over 20 years. It's the nicest Miata I've ever had. I've had a lot of junkers and somewhat nice ones, but this one, 28,000 original miles. And look how absolutely clean and spotless it is. I love the spec too. It doesn't have the limited slip rear differential. That's the only thing I wish it had, but otherwise you have air conditioning, you have alloy wheels, and then that's it. It's just a base Miata from the first full production year. The car was to put a new timing belt and water pump on it because it's so original, it had never been done. So we'll see what this one brings. Once I sell all these cars, I'll have some money in my pocket. And yeah, you know what that means. I've sold 5 cars, so stonks, I'm probably gonna buy 10 more. But I've managed to resist all this time. I've never bought a car at Barrett-Jackson before because I'm busy working. I usually miss out when I think something's a great deal because I'm busy, obviously, doing the live TV job. But there will be hoopties like this Ferrari Mondial. It's, yeah, this is selling today, actually. These are about the most affordable cars in the Ferrari world, so I'll definitely be watching it. And then I'm definitely going to be watching this truck. It may not look special, but I am a sucker for these old conversion package cars. You see the Regency badging here, the lower effects, and then the interior, you have golden oak and cushy pillow top seats. 60,000 original miles. Just the smell of this thing. Oh. There's also this absolutely ridiculous Hummer of the 04 Rich era selling right here. So dang cool. I'm so tempted. A lot of Euro imports on Thursday as well, affordable cars. You have a Herbie as well, a Friday car, but the really tempting cars, the ones where I can really get in trouble, are going to be selling on Saturday after the Superbird sells. So depending on how well that car goes will be how excited I am to spend some money. But there's some heavy hitters with some stories that I like a lot. So I've been spending a lot of time looking at this car across from the Superbird here. Basically, my ultimate dream car. I know I've said that a lot, but it's still the favorite car I have ever driven. 05, 06 Ford GTs. They kind of been priced out of the realm of my reach or sanity, but this one, well, it's a salvage title with some miles on it, so it may be in striking distance of the Superbird money and the other cars. So we'll see. It has a lot of other cool bits on it. You have an S65 coupe right here, but then also you have an SLR McLaren, which, I mean, absolutely gorgeous, and it's a roadster, one of, you know, only a few hundred, 200 or 300, but this one had a electrical fire reported on the Carfax. Even though it's clean title, had an electrical fire. The entire wiring harness was replaced on it, so there's a ding there, which makes it maybe possible to buy, maybe, we'll see, but there's a few more as well, a little bit more affordable. These are, well, dreaming. I'm wandering around here and I can't find the other car yet that's caught my eye. It may not be here yet. It's a Maybach 62, long wheelbase. I'll get some B-roll when I find it later, with 100,000 miles, but it's the partition car, so it has the full divider like a limo, but 100,000 miles on it. It's the most expensive spec of the early 2000s Maybach that you can buy, but with the miles on it, well, maybe it'll be cheap. But then also, well, there's that. Video Bob's here, another YouTuber. He sold a DeLorean at the last sale. He's built 40-something DeLoreans. He's also built half a dozen Ghostbusters Ecto 1s, so look at that. Imagine driving home an Ecto, but yeah, only one car today so far, the Miata, so we'll see how it goes back at the block. All right, here we go inside the McGuire staging lanes with the cars, and here's the Miata. We're about 2 cars away. I didn't mention earlier, I paid $11,000 for this car, so there's the entry fees, shipping about $800, and then, you know, the entry fee $500, and then they take 8%, so we need a few grand more than 11 to break even. So we'll see how it does.
28,000 miles directly from the Tyler Hoover collection. Mazda. 5,000, take it another 7, and take it another 7, now 10, take it another 10, and take it another 10, down, take it another 10, 10, 10, take it another 10, down, take it another 10, and take it another 10, 8, 9, take it another 9, and take it another 8, 9, 9, take it another 13, take it another 14, take it another 14, 15, and take it another 15, down, take it another 15, and take it another 15, 15, take it another shape. Well, I gave you 17,
that's a lot.
18,
Are we gonna go over 20 grand? Really? No!
You worked so hard. 3, 5, now 4.
Holy crap!
25, 5. So $25,000.
Sold for $25,000. What? We are off to a very, very good start here. That's the only car selling Thursday, so Friday, there'll be even more cars. 25 grand. 5 Blazer the next day. Another car issues car. Need mid-20s to break even. We'll see. All right. I won't set a record with this one. Okay. 20. All right. We've got our money back. That's good. Okay. All right. I'm very, very happy with that. All right. So 2 for 2. We're making a little money on that one. That's fantastic. Whoa. Okay. Total mystery here. Let's see what we're going to do. Starting low. Uh-oh. This may be the one that gets a hit. There we go, an internet bidder. Obviously, this is a great value right now. It'll be the cheapest Cyclone to sell in many, many years. So let's see. It's way cheap. Okay. Ooh. All right. There was the hit, so I paid 21 for it. A couple of grand cleaning it up. Fees. We went backwards. I mean, that's the name of the game with auctions. You win some, you lose some. Hopefully you come out ahead in the long run. That's not a huge hit, obviously. The Miatas make it up for it. So one more today, the 928. That's kind of a big car.
1988 Porsche 928 S4, powered by quad cam, 5-liter V8. About 100. 800 pounds. What you got, sir? 800 10. 800 pounds. Whoa, 5,000, 10,000, 15. 815, 20. 820, 25, 30. 892, 95. 825, 825, 7. 827, 7. 827, 40. 840, 827, 40.
Hey, we are doing all right. Already at $43,000, which is great money. Oh, $43,000. That's awesome. Okay, bought that car for a little over 30 grand, spent a few grand with the Wizard. 43 is making money, so fantastic. Obviously I was down on one, but up on all the others, but they could all be wiped out by the Superbirds. So tomorrow's really gonna be the make or break on this, all the stakes, but I am gonna miss that car. It's just gorgeous. Oh, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, 1970 Plymouth Hemi Superbird Custom Coupe.
Oh, yes.
Its life as a real R 426.
It wouldn't start earlier. They were struggling to get going, but then it started for its big main event across the block here. We're at what I paid for it. We're still losing money here, obviously.
This is a real Hemi car. This is not a clone. It is a resto-modded, real Hemi Superbird.
And now 135. I'm gonna move on 35.
We sold a real one in Vegas for 1.5 million. Put it back to stock. It's a real Hemi Superbird. Way under the money. This is a buy right here.
Close the door on buddy. Give me 150. I'm gonna be thinking about $150,000. Everybody staring at you, buddy. Give me 150. And now 150. I'm gonna be thinking about
It's worth it.
$150,000. Are you through? 150,000. Are you done? I'm gonna be thinking about
The buy of the auction right here.
150. 150. 155.
They are working so hard to sell this car. I appreciate it so much. But it's just not getting it.
155,000. 155,000.
But now we are getting close to break even here.
2, 5, 155.
Still fighting. It's not over yet.
It's worth it. I was going to say, you're going to regret that.
Oh, wow.
This is an opportunity.
I appreciate him doing this so much. I mean, honestly. That'll do. That'll do. Fantastic. All right. Didn't lose money on the Superbird. Let's go calculate the results here. Goodbye, friend. All right, back in my garage after an incredible sale at Houston. What an experience. I have never brought a collection to a car auction before, let alone something as high stakes as the Superbird. And while it was very nerve-wracking, we did have some ups and downs, it was overall an amazing experience. So let's go over the list here, starting with the Mazda Miata. And I did look, we did indeed, from what I can tell, set a record for a 1990 Miata. $27,500 worth of fees, and for what I paid for it, $11,000, and then there's the entry fee, the transport. I made $10,700 on that car. Then the Blazer, the one I expected to lose money on, that sold for $30,000 plus a 10% commission, $33,000. So I didn't explain that very well with the Miata. 10% over is what the buyer pays, and then they take 8% of the hammer price from the seller. So an 18% margin. They're making pretty good money. But so did I on that one, $27,600 after fees, so I made $1,900. I squeaked out almost $2,000 on that thing, but then, you know, the Cyclone was a meltdown. With an auction, you never know. You have your ups and your downs, and this one, well, I probably would have kept it for that price, especially after the fees. $18,400 was my take-home, way less than what I paid for it before the repairs, so I actually ended up losing with the entry fee and the shipping almost $7,000. Youch. But then the 928 obviously more than made up for it. I made about $4,260 on that car, which is fantastic. And then of course the Superbird, you saw how hard Craig Jackson and his team worked to bring that price up. $170,000, which back the fees $156. I actually made $14,000 on the car, which if you told me that a year ago when I bought it, I never would have believed you. Now I got a little hopeful with the recent sales of Hemi Superbirds, numbers matching ones that are perfect, selling for $1 million and $1,500,000, but obviously my car was very, very different from that. So my net positive, $24,000, which isn't bad for a weekend. I mean, absolutely incredible. I am so grateful. But the problem is, that meant after fees, I had $264,000 of in-store credit in the Barrett Jackson Bank, which I would get in a little while, a few weeks if I waited. But yeah, you can use it to buy other cars. So you probably know what happened. Thank you for watching.